Having to re-record this webinar from the other day due to technical and internet issues, and hence the reason it's on a slightly different platform. Today I'm going to be running you through how to maximise your return on investment from your recruitment technology purchases. Hi, I'm Pardeep. I joined the business in 2019 to help build out and establish the account management division. My main focus at the business is managing relationships with all of our customers to ensure they are maximising the return on their investment. So, who are Sourcebreaker? For those of you who don't know, we are an AI-driven search, match and lead generation platform, helping you to uncover additional candidates and business development opportunities. We're one of the fastest growing recruitment technology companies out there in the market, for 2 years running, according to the Financial Times. Currently, we work with over 500 agencies across the globe, ranging from America to Australia and everything in between. We work with a range of companies, from your smaller one-man businesses to your large organisations such as S3, Harvey Nash and Faden, to name a few. So what we're going to be covering today is we're going to be looking at why recruitment tech doesn't always work, how to assess products effectively, building momentum, how to drive adoption, really nailing that training and implementation phase, and finally dealing with resistance. Millions of pounds of your hard-earned fees are wasted every single year on poorly executed or unnecessary technology purchases within the recruitment sector. So first off, we need to look at why it doesn't always work. And when looking at why it doesn't work, we first off need to look at the actual product and whether the customer fit is right. You never buy a product because you think it's a new tech, it's a new shiny tech, or you like the look of it. It needs to actually solve a problem within your business for it to be worthwhile. Secondly, is the pre-implementation process is disorganized. At Sourcebreaker, we define this as from when the contract is signed to when the users start the training. Next is the training not being delivered effectively, and the recruiters not engaging as a result of the training not being delivered effectively, or the adoption drops off after the initial buzz. Next, we're going to be looking at how to address these issues from the previous slide. So how can you assess products effectively? One of the major questions you need to be asking yourself at this stage is, does it solve a major business need? Unfortunately, there's not a magic software out there that will solve all of your problems. So you need to make sure that the one you are implementing solves a business need you're addressing at that particular time. Does it streamline processes? This is a very key question as well. Does it make you quicker? Does it make your consultants quicker or more efficient? Or are you actually adding more barriers for people to get on with their day-to-day? Next is it complementary with your existing tech stack? So does it integrate with your CRM or the rest of your stack, and does it work seamlessly with those as well? Can you adjust targets for your recruiters if you bring in new technology? It's like if you were to bring in a resourcer for a consultant, you'd naturally expect more from a consultant, and this is the same with tech. And we look at return on investment in two ways, and it's a product of these two here. So it's how much does it cost to get going and how much is it going to return is one side of it, but also how much time and effort is it going to take to get this off the ground from a change management perspective. The ultimate cost of the product is these two together. When assessing the products, are you able to get references from similar sized businesses or trusted names within the industry? One of the great things about the industry is that recruitment leaders are always willing to share their successes and experiences, so you really can get a nice rounded view of whether this tool is going to work for your business. How are you going to measure return on investment, and does it fit into the need that you're trying to fulfill? And getting a team manager involved in a decision-making process. They're going to be working with the tools on a day-to-day basis, and therefore they'll be able to provide useful feedback on the product at demo stage. Moving on to the pre-implementation phase. So as I said previously, this is the part of the process between signing the contract and starting the training to use the platform or tool. This part of the process comes down to planning, so make sure you plan meticulously. As a decision maker, you need to make sure you speak to the trainer beforehand. This is key, because what it will allow you to do is it will allow the trainer to fully understand your business, and it will allow them to understand why you brought this product. And therefore they can then sell that back to the consultants during the training to get full engagement. Try and negotiate extra training to take full advantages of the services that the vendors are offering. Next is a really important part where you as a decision maker really need to stay involved in the process. You'd think as a buyer or decision maker, your job ends once a contract is signed, but this is where it really starts. You really need to be selling the dream to your consultants. Make sure that you're providing the vendor with all the information they require as soon as possible. The reason they need this is to be able to set up your account for your business. And the sooner you get it to them, it means the sooner they can get that set up and therefore ensure a smooth start to the training process. And finally, with the pre-implementation process, is make sure you allocate enough resource to get this rolled out effectively. So have you got an executive sponsor, whether that be yourself, the decision maker, or whether that be someone else in the business? Have you got enough operational support to help with the day-to-day running of the platform? Do you need any technical support from your CRM or other parts of your tech stack? And have you identified who your super users will be to really drive this forward? Expect resistance. So recruiters, salespeople, and people in general don't really like change. So selling the product to them is key and will help drive adoption. Get them on, drive adoption, help to get them on board and get them excited about the new piece of tech that you're trying to implement. Getting your top performers on side is going to be key also, because if we have the top performers on side, it's likely that other people in the business will follow suit. Ensuring that adoption is driven from both sides. So adoption is something which a vendor will naturally drive, but it needs to be driven by the business also to help maximize your return. And finally, managing the expectations of your users. So sometimes when you're implementing tech, there's going to be some teething issues. Sometimes they're unexpected. But speaking to your consultants, really showing them, really selling to them why you've bought this platform or tool, how it fits within the wider resolution of the business should really help with resistance. What you can see here is an adoption bell curve, which I'm sure you would have seen before. So some key stats here is that 84% of people may resist initially, and that's your early majority, your late majority, and your laggards. 50% may continue to resist, and 16% of people may never adopt it. There's something key to consider on this is that we tend to focus on people not adopting tech rather than the people that are adopting. The people that are adopting the tech could be getting such a great return on investment that it doesn't really matter if we have a few people who are maybe stuck in their ways or do not use it, because we're seeing such a great return for the most part. Just something to think about there. Moving on to the training and implementation phase. So firstly, we need to make sure we're not overloading the consultants with too much information. The classic, people absorb about 20% of information that they take, that they hear from a training session. So we want to really break that down into manageable chunks. And also so people aren't away from their desk for too long. At Sourcebreaker, we split our initial training into candidate searching and lead generation. And we found this really helps with adoption moving forward. Make sure you include someone from the senior team in the training. I can't stress this enough. It really helps the trainers sell back the value of the platform, and then you're able to reinforce the reasons of why you bought the platform in the first place. Really try and commit to the full program of training. As a software provider, we know what makes success, and committing to the full program will definitely allow that. I can speak on behalf of most vendors here when I say that if we could cut our training hours in half, we would, because it would definitely free up a lot more time and resource for us. And finally, introduce competitions. Everyone loves a competition. It will help drive usage, it will help drive adoption on certain parts of the platform. Moving on to major pitfalls that we've seen is one of the main ones is when a business really undervalues the training, thinking that they can just purchase a tech and that's then done and hopefully it's going to work. That unfortunately isn't the case for the most part. Secondly is the buy it and it will work attitude. This is where we see most businesses fail and really users don't adopt. When vendors deviate away from the process, when people don't give it enough time, so every piece of tech adoption is a change management process as much as it is a tech purchase. You need to give it time to embed into your workflows. You need to give it time for people to come out of their habitual ways of working, and really adopt the new tech. Next one is the decision makers fail to sell it to their consultants. Decision makers, or the business rather, do not drive adoption and relies purely on the vendor to push adoption. As I said previously, it comes from both parts. The vendor is naturally going to push adoption, but it really needs to come from internally as well. And the final one is not adjusting your targets to maximize your return on investment. A couple of tips on getting more from the vendors. So one of the things I always try and say to my clients is, let's see what we can offer in terms of extra training. So see if you can negotiate extra training to really help your consultants get up to speed on the platform a lot quicker and therefore maximizing their potential return. The quicker they can get up and running, the quicker they can start making money from the platform. Make sure you get access to regular usage reports. This is important to understand how areas of business are being utilized and areas that need attention. There may be parts of the platform which people are really using and really adopting to, which is fantastic. But it may also be parts of the platform which could use a bit of help in terms of training from the company. Make sure you diarise catch-up calls and meetings that you have throughout the process. As you can see, there's a bit of a theme here, with regard to plan. Make sure they're always in the diary. It's going to help your adoption as well. And what you can also do is ask vendors for new features, access to early new features. Like at Sourcebreaker, we offer beta testing to some of our clients. And what that allows them to do is essentially get ahead of the competition, because they will get trained on that part of the platform very quickly, and they'll be using it. And when it's actually due to be released, they already know how to use that platform. So in summary, a couple of key takeaways to get it right. Ensure whatever purchase that you're making, that you make it part of a culture. You'll maximize your success by doing this. And if you fully adopt it and make it part of the day-to-day, you're likely to be more successful. Really commit to all parts of the training process, from pre-implementation, the training, the onboarding, etc. Make sure you plan properly before the implementation. Make sure that you have the right people in place, i.e. the exec sponsor, operational staff, super users, and make sure consultants are available on the day of training, so that have meetings in place or maybe not on holiday and things like that. Really sell the dream to the users. As I said previously, it's both the vendor and your responsibility to get people excited about using the technology. Have competitions in place to help drive usage. We do all sorts of prizes and fun games at Sourcebreaker. I think previously we've done almost like an online bingo where we have tried to create a bit of competitive element. Recruiters love a bit of competition, and that worked really well for adoption. Never stop driving adoption. You're as important at the start of the process as you are throughout to help people start using and carry on using the platform. And treat every step as critical to success. Every part of this, from signing that contract, or getting the demo, from signing the contract to going through the process, is critical to your success. Thank you very much for your time. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me at pardeep@sourcebreaker.com. Thank you.